So today I want to be talking about anxiety and a little tip that can help anyone who suffers from anxiety or just gets the occasional anxiety in a certain situation. And we all suffer from anxiety at some point. It could be seeing some spiders, or it could be up a mountain if you fear heights, it could be a social situation, or it could be an actual disorder. But all of these feelings of anxiety, in my opinion, stem from avoidance. The first time you were exposed to a situation where you perceive danger, which releases cortisol and adrenaline in your body. Let's take the example of being up a mountain. If you're scared of heights, if you react to that feeling and you don't just let the anxiety flow through your body, then that will create an avoidance cycle in your brain. So you'll categorize being up a mountain as inherently dangerous. So you just won't go in an aeroplane, you won't go up a mountain, you won't, go up the London Eye. So this avoidance can have a cumulative effect on you. And there's a really good quote by Carl Jung here. He's a psychologist. He says, "That which you most need will be where you least want to look." And because everything you want is on the other side of fear. And so what we need to do is expose ourselves to situations where those cortisol chemicals are released in our brain, where we feel completely out of our comfort zone, where we feel anxious. And by doing so, we confront the fear. And there's a really good Seneca quote that relates to this, and it's that we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. So every time you face a fear, I guarantee it's not as hard as you think it will be. So if you are completely scared of heights, if you go up a mountain, yeah, it might be pretty freaky at first, but if you can just weather that storm, you'll realise, gosh, my mind completely imagines all these different scenarios that could happen and none of them happened. So you completely debunk these myths that you create in your mind. And a way to go even further, not just to confront anxiety, but to conquer it. There's a really good method. It's just a principle. It's by David Goggin. You might have heard of him. He's an absolute maniac. He's a Navy SEAL. He's decorated in all different medals and achievements. But he basically came up with the concept of taking souls. And that's basically, it can be an object, it can be a person, it can be anything, it can be just an objective. And if you pay enough attention to the objective at hand, if you're, for example, in a boxing match with someone, you don't just beat them, you completely conquer them, you completely go through them. And if for example, if you're scared of heights, you don't just climb the mountain, you conquer the mountain. You have this mindset of, I'm not just going to expose myself. Because if you expose yourself and you're timid, you're likely to go into this fight or flight again, and you're likely to go back and forwards and not actually get out of that fight or flight. But if you completely go, right, I'm going to conquer this, I'm not just going to expose myself, I'm going to completely annihilate this fear, and I'm going to show it how trivial it is. And once your mind knows that, once you expose yourself and you've got this mindset of going through and conquering it, then you'll realise that this is nothing, and your mind will start thinking, it'll rewire itself to think, okay, I'm not going to climb up that mountain anymore. I'm going to climb the tallest mountain in the world if I want to, because it's nothing to fear. So yeah, that's basically a tip, and I thought I'd take this exposure, couple it with David Goggin's Taking Souls. Taking Souls is great. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a person. It can be a task. It can be a university assignment. If you look into the soul of that assignment, you've got to conquer it. You don't just conquer it. You get it first, and you spend hours on it until it's broken. So yeah, that's my tip for anxiety. Expose yourself, break its soul, and carry on confronting your fears, because as Carl Jung said, the place where we don't want to look is where all the treasure lies. Thank you.